Humber College Lakeshore campus, now a place full of bright young minds with hopeful futures. But it wasn't always this way. Within these walls are stories of a dark, dreary past. These are the untold stories of the Lakeshore Asylum.
I'm Spencer Wood. I'm the manager of facilities at Humber's Lakeshore campus.
My name is Steve Bang, and I teach here at Humber in the business program.
My name's Charlotte. I'm the Zamboni operator at the Powerhouse Ice Rink.
The buildings at Lakeshore, Humber Lakeshore East were built originally to be the psychiatric asylum for the province of Ontario. They were built in the 1890s using what was then a new model for psychiatric care, which was a model of cottages. So they had men on one side of the campus and the women on the other. And they were in almost like a residential or even a farm environment. At that time, this location was in the middle of nowhere, and they were expanded again in the 1930s and then finally closed in the 1970s.
Now, there's a rumor out that the asylum, or now called Humber Campus Lakeshore, is haunted. And there are many people that have had situations where they feel they've been in the presence of some sort of spirit. The rumor is it's a nurse. Some people have said they've seen her, they've felt her, they've heard her.
I had to go in early one morning at 5 in the morning, and I heard a woman's voice. As soon as I entered the building at 5 in the morning, she went, "Hello," and it scared the daylights out of me, and I left the building. It was clearly somebody saying hello to me.
And the nurse apparently was having an affair with one of the patients at the asylum, and for some reason chose to hang herself in one of the apple trees like the one behind us. So that's why her spirit still haunts Humber campus.
Just stepped outside to have a cigarette, and then I was drawn, almost pulled downstairs. And when I got to the bottom of the stairs, I was extremely creeped out because it really feels like there's someone there, although it's empty. And I was told that there was a story of a woman who was wearing a white outfit, and she's been seen by many students. And she was late one night doing her schoolwork late. All the other students were gone, and it was a night like tonight where there's nobody down there except a bunch of empty lockers in a hallway. And the girl saw this woman walking really slow, almost floating across the floor. And she got to the end where the staircase is, and the girl hollered to her twice, but she didn't hear her. She just kept walking, so the girl ran as fast as she could go as the woman was exiting into the stairwell. And the girl caught up. The woman should have still been there, but she was gone, vanished. But that wasn't the first and only time. Many people have spoken about this woman that roams the halls at night in these buildings.
Okay, the door you see here is the last remaining entrance to the famous G building. The G building right now is locked up. You can't get into it. It suffers from mold and also asbestos pollution. The G building also is the building that's rumored to be haunted. And we talked about the ghost of the nurse. Apparently she's been seen in the G building at times. They think it's because that's where the morgue was. They're not sure. In the 50s, this was the building that a lot of experiments were done on the patients. This is where they did electric shock therapy. They also did insulin shock therapy, and this is also where they did frontal lobotomies.
There's been grisly stories of how people died in the operating rooms from botched lobotomies, and children were stillborn and ended up being buried in unmarked graves at the graveyard. 1,516 souls buried there, and they only know the identity of 35 of them. But 115 years for a cemetery with no marker almost screams shame. What used to be a house of horrors, this place of supposed to cure people's minds, now it's a place of hope and new beginnings with Humber College, bright minds and young lives. And the ice rink that's at the former powerhouse, it brings joy to people's hearts. So it's turned around into a better, more positive influence on people's lives, and that's a good thing.